Greetings. It is good at good at points. Hey, chapter day. Let's talk about this. Carmelo was jumped, but then here was stop. Okay. This isn't my first time saying this, and I have posted what should be enough for y'all to at least look into. Now, people try to say all sorts of things, right? This is another reason why we need to get rid of AI. Now, I haven't heard anyone say that anybody speaking on this is AI or any videos they may have seen that contradicts with what they say show the court is, you know, listen, it's trying to be. I've seen it. I've seen people try to use that in so many other things, right? And that's not good. So I hope I'm in it. You guys will start to see more and more because apparently we have seen the video and it was clearly saying he was jumped. More of them are speaking out. They're doing interviews. That is good. That is good. Now, it wasn't Schmurder. Shame on, the coons and all of those who are speaking against Carmelo. So good. It's a little colder. Perfect. I want to that list. Michi X. Michi X. Because she talks against Carmelo on her video. I didn't like it. She also made some accusations against Dominique Alexander. I didn't like that shit either. Put on Charleston what Charleston did. Now, Dominique Alexander has already come out and told that it wasn't nothing like that. He definitely went into detail about it. All right. So you're just talking out your ass like you always do. While you announcing your retirement for whatever the fuck it was you did. So you saying Dominique lying? Mm-hmm. Because of his criminal record? Again, hello, Granny. I was with others about that criminal record and him being a part of this. But while we making opinions and assumptions and statements, you need to try to check all sides first. Okay? And when nobody else was showing up for that family, this man who is now doing something different with his life, just like your son got out of prison, he showed up. Okay, so now focus on his influence on this case, right? What he has been doing concerning this case. Okay? But not Michi. Michi X want to help stir the pot. And I should put her name in the title. I'll put that bitch in. She also want to say shit like Carmelo committed murder. No, he didn't. So, talking like that, did you retire the day you did that live? Juneteenth would be a great day to do it if you have. Get the fuck on. Now, the video was doctored. We know this. and it wasn't murder. According to the state of Texas, it's self-defense. And stand your ground in self-defense is going to be that. Regardless of what bias or non-bias or your race or anything, it's going to be that. So when we go to court, that's what it is. Not what they choose. Clearly, everybody was working together. If you want to show a portion of the video, you choose to alter it, and then you see that by way of you altering it, it's basically useless because there's no way anybody can identify who's in the video to even know that they're seeing the people that we're talking about is such an important trial. You're gonna have to show the video as is, or we just don't have video to show. But you don't get to doctor it to where it's really non-visible, and then put that out and be like, here you go, like that's all you got. No, because you got the whole thing. Like for the eye and eyes, Jedediah, which I support wholeheartedly, right? That minor line is not going to be able to work in this situation. We do not allow him to say because we have minors, everybody else seen the tape, except for everybody, right? Minors are involved in the entire situation. There's no way to pluck and choose who you're going to take out and then say, this is so and so and this is so and so. Okay, what if they take them out too? We have to be able to see what happened, because until you see the tape, you can't even determine how many and who all were involved, and all of these were minors. So nobody gets to say, "Oh, we're not releasing it because of minors." No, you release it because this is murderous evidence. You don't consider it. They don't talk like that when it's one of ours. They will put your minor in handcuffs illegally and take them away. Okay, they don't consider none of that when it's one of us. I need everybody to stop saying it was intent, because when you do that, you're participating in this freaking spiritual ritual that you from that moment on, you really not gonna really be speaking and seeking on no truth, because you're starting out with a lie. Because wait, no, there's no tents out there. There can't be. And we're intelligent beings, and we know the difference between a tent and a cannon. So let's start there. Let's start there. He was jumped. It wasn't murder. It was self-defense. There's no allegedly. There's no I'm guessing. There's none of that. He was railroaded by everybody, including the defense. Now, the defense had the same take, right? And chose not to show it. Okay. And so the parents came out here and bowed down and laid out their humbleness, because why not? We were plum fools, basically. We still had rose-colored glasses. On top of the manipulation we were getting in such a vulnerable moment, right? Okay, duly noted. But we still have to move on from there. They should have been on a different level. We think that about a lot of people all the time. Ladies, y'all, people are who and where they are. I don't want to bring him up, but for Charleston White, they just say something like he don't support the father because he ain't willing to split things. He'll fly down for a son. All that stupid talk. Listen, y'all, stop paying him attention. Make Charleston White disappear. Make him non-relevant. Okay. Make Charleston White disappear. If we were handling our business, which I've spoken on in depth, what we need, right? And what we should have had. I wait, this family would have been protected and it could have been Carmelo and Big Jim, right? If we didn't have what we supposed to have, Charleston White wouldn't even been back. That lawyer wouldn't even been back. Not at all. They wouldn't have been able to come nowhere near that. It's drug time. Then I got the child to the other side of town. So, um, unfortunately, at this point, we don't know who the family's gonna have. Not that teams aren't moving on things, behind the scenes. But as it stands, we don't know who they're gonna have. It's gonna be much harder than the first time, for sure. The work to put in to have come along. It's ginormous, and that's what we get because we're not having our business. It could have been your husband, your son, your nephew, anybody, and they would have been just as vulnerable, and they would have got just as done now, not delete. When they want to delete ours, they do, and they don't pay. Shout out to the boycott situation. I hear people say it a lot, and I see those small efforts and temporary efforts and stuff, but shout out to what they're doing right now. With what we're doing, right? To the best of our abilities. Because I bought this today. Little truck stop. But we're moving. And today is supposed to be Juneteenth. I guess happy Juneteenth. I don't celebrate stuff like that. I get the point though. I get the point. I'm kind of talking to you from it. You know what I'm saying? So trolls are gonna be mad. Stay in the chat. Trolls are gonna be mad. They're gonna do whatever. Who cares? Let me say this. It's sparkling down. So the video was doctored, and that's never gonna be okay. It shouldn't happen. It should not have been allowed. And if the defense did not present what was doctored, didn't even talk about it. Everybody disagreed to showing that, right? I hear the conversation in small increments from people who saw the video, right? Who said, yeah, the video's doctored and yet Carmelo jumped. Now, they're stating that the video was doctored by way of the prosecution zooming in on it. That's the narrative they want to give. The prosecution. That's the narrative they want to give. They did way more than just that. Okay. Based on the conversation that I'm hearing from y'all, that video was spliced, diced, and ricocheted. We gotta tighten. You gotta hit all aspects. Because right? Don't just say they zoomed in on the video, presented that video, and use that to be the narrative, the excuse as to why we can't really see what's going on because it was so far away. In order to get on the actual people involved, we had to zoom in. But you're not going to show us the entire video unedited, unaltered. No. You should know everything. And I'm going to point out one key thing. You should know what camera that was and its capability. They pull dumb stuff over the people's eyes because the people just you laid with it. So it agrees to be understood. It's not your 24/7. You're out here living life and trying to survive. For them, that's their 24/7 because it's their bread and butter. When us dirty. So again, they expert level. Well, you need to get close to expert level yourself. They should be able to say, we zoomed in, so it's great. You should be able to say, it shouldn't be great if you zoomed in. And why didn't you get an expert to get that right zoom? You also cannot compare their cameras to how they have a football game and talk about how they zoom in a football game and then say that video that they had for the Karmelo case was grainy because they zoomed in on it. That shit don't make no sense. Just think. Just think. If you believe they're the same type of cameras, that zoom in should be like we standing in their face. Same as they do when they show the boys out there with their tights on. That thighs and ass. Just walking around, running. Thighs and ass. From the time. We get you on our body. I don't go fuck what you feel like, bitch. Your profile picture looks so dumb. I bet you that's not who you are, and I bet you you're not black. Y'all point. Don't come over. Hmm? You oppose what I'm saying. My chat ain't the place to do it. Go take him out. Hmm? Baby, she'll care. Catch. Okay, baby, it's gonna be all right. So come on. Don't come over here. Tell me you disapprove. If I told you point, out, out, then corny. Say it to my face. portfolio. But you probably have seen and seen in real life. And you just as corny as hell and up in there. I don't care about none of y'all. But I'll be back. So reiterate my points more clearly without rushing. And this knowing it's too sweet, but it's good. So yeah. But we're doing pretty good because we are doing what people are. What y'all say is not boycotting. We take back our wealth or something. Whatever we call it. Love to see. Love to see the black businesses being supported. Nobody yet claiming about it's why I don't shop with our people because look at how they, So y'all stay on point with that. Let's appreciate each other. Now and always. But no time. I quickly did it myself. I'm dubbing the color. I made the color. They mixed the lipstick to match. I got on my feet right. And people were saying purple is Carmelo's color. Probably is. A lot of guys like purple. So just in case it is, I'm saying let me do some metallic purple. Very good job for myself. And I got bundles that thank you. Finally found out. What it was. They keep that shit right and pull it out real quick. Pop, pop. Turn that gatekeeper. Yeah, you ask them what's the brand and all that. Oh, what you say? What you say? And I went to buy one and it's like it's black, so like the graphic, you can't even see the name or nothing. I'm trying to figure out eyeball in it. So that, because I'm telling you, whatever glue that is, that shit bad. You'll break your nail bed and split down the middle to the white meat and the blood for that nail fall off. And I done went through, I ain't gonna say every other so-called badass nail glue out there, but I went through a lot. And as you can see, I don't got time for nails popping out like that. Okay. All the way through step, you probably past that. So few hours I spent put my curls in was just going on. I was like, so I'm gonna have to go roller style or to my little braid and twist because I love it with the curls. So so funny. I'm gonna be back. We're gonna talk more about this. But we want nobody in no tent except for next boy now. Am I? They were in camp. They were under camp. I'm sorry. Shit, be in a camp. Not in enclosure. It is a shelter. Like an umbrella that stays. You know, mistakes aside. You did to the father, he's on whoever he's on, Breakfast Club, I guess. And you know, he said the same thing about that video. He's like, you know, you know, to literally say the words because people including black talk shit. I wouldn't be scared. I say what the fuck. My boy, I'm like, I wouldn't be beats. Well, it, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. We test on that. Now, you Carmelo family, sir, that group, I think, Anthony, whatever his name, I don't know. Just in this moment, I am sleep deprived and everything else. And the gorgeous mom, y'all have been baptized. Okay, you graduated to higher levels. Now you understand some things a little bit more. Okay, just you know, don't be timid about anything because no one timid in these situations is gonna prosper and win. And you know, fight for your son. So you know, do it with your chest. Be confident in who you make and be informed. He informs everybody. All right, and again, we're not gonna just accept narrative like back, put it back. We're not gonna just accept narratives that they give just because they give them, not the dog. Okay. Um, camera quality is worth salt, which it should be, especially if the voice say, "Oh, there was only one camera way on the other side." Okay, then they confident as hell in their cameras, and they got that camera just like or similar to what they actually use in professional sports. Oh, what's the point of camera? And so we're not zooming into no brains, baby. They shouldn't even be able to play with us like that. All right. But you know, again, it's on all of us. BTX, don't bring your ass on here talking about something. Charleston White and Dr. Kim never told him to do about something that told him, okay, bitch, say Charleston White. And if you believe Dr. Kevin did it, where's your proof? Because he say otherwise. So what you gonna do? Challenge him, debate him, like how you gonna work that out? Okay, big show statement. You made some fucked up statements. Especially cognizant popping about. Karmelo, shut the fuck up, because you was pretty damn humble. I'm trying to help get out of jail, girl. You know what I'm saying? Retire, bitch. It's motherfucking time. And I don't give a fuck about no response. I don't give no fuck. This ain't my first time. This ain't my first time calling your ass out. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck on with your big ass. You on that shit too. Huh? I know that's what you're like. It's the thing that here's absolutely. Bye. Should be agree. Bye. Bye. All right. All right. So we on the road to doing better, working things out. Karmelo didn't murder nobody. Did someone die for fucking with Karmelo? Fuck yeah. Did I do it? That was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Keep your motherfucking everything to yourself, especially in a state where you don't have a duty to retreat, and also does not have to put you to saying bullshit, the fuck dumb shit y'all talking about because you don't know shit. You ain't got to. But if you're black, you know. So while we're doing that, we also gonna be paying attention to what we don't understand. Like all the things y'all trying to do with law stuff. that you think we don't see? All right. Let's see. Shit, while we rolling, let me play this. Yeah. It's 7:60. Yeah. I'm gonna let y'all do some.
You do it at my command, but you want to do it. I didn't say add nothing. I said just freaking. All right. That damn traffic and shit. Let me tell y'all something, man. I'm telling you, when you talk about woe out and you never can recover, truckers. Okay. So I had a 5 o'clock appointment. I gets there 3 o'clock. They gates don't even be open until 5 o'clock or after 5. So I'm like, y'all want to try to. This is why truck companies be losing they drivers too. Don't doing dumb shit because you think it's a better way. Because you think it's gonna be more profitable than you. And sometimes that shit don't make no sense. So you want to insist on people picking up at a certain time. Um, the time that you give, picking up on that time, regardless of as the driver, you know what's the best time for you to pick up. As long as you get that bitch there on time. Right? You the only one doing this drive. You know you already got that shit mapped out. I'm gonna pee here, pee there, eat there, whatever. But what I'm not gonna do is waste my hours, especially when it can affect me getting back. To just be so super early and shit because you think that's gonna prevent service failure. No, the fuck it don't. Duh, over. It will prevent you from keeping quality drops. So, okay. So, anywho, I get there. It's like 3:30. So, in the middle of the motherfucking street is where I can be. That's all I got. Put my hazards on and lay back there, and I'm like, I was in a coma. I was dreaming about somebody, baby. I don't know yet. Uh, it it was a deep dream, and I remember it. So it's something there. I gotta go back and deal with that. Figure that one out. But then even when I went back to sleep, it hit the baby situation again. I was like, what the hell? So dude come knocking on the door, but it's never knock. It's always a bang, which there's no other way because the truck driver, your ass be in a coma, and who knows? You got the AC blowing. You might have some music. They want you to hear, so it's bang bang. All I ever seem to hear is bang 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 like that. So I'm staggering up to the front, and I'm looking at this dude. And he like, yeah, you going over here, and I'm looking at him like I know this is. And I'm looking at him like, bro, you can wait till 5 o'clock? Because once you go to sleep, just let me get it. You know what I mean? Let me get it. So you want me to come in early? No, good and well, we ain't been out here for hours, so clearly I must have just went to sleep. So it was me, it was another driver, or his load there when I got there. So he want to make sure that ass motherfucker. That shit was so funny because I'm in the middle of the road. I'm in the median. He lined up on the gate, which they got rules that we can't park on the side of the road. Period. No reason. So he basically on the side of the road. I'm in the median. That, that's not the side of the road. Okay. So when he wake us up and shit, oh boy, want to make sure he get in there first. Now the gate, it's a 2-lane road. Got all this ass back here, 53 feet. And the gate is like, you got that lane, the median, and this lane. You got to be in this lane to clear that gate, right? He right here alongside the gate. And so he gonna try to swing out a little bit and hurry up and get in there. Like I'm trying to pull in ahead of him. I don't even bro like that's not even necessary. It's 6 and 7. That's those doors they gonna put us in. So we gonna both get in them doors and they gonna rock them damn trailers until they finish. And they take hours, no matter how. I'm like, it's only a few people. The fuck? Hey, shit don't never change. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this? He don't want this. He said she can get her black ass in there before I do. That's okay. Watch this. So you got the men coming to open up their shit, right? So it's one in the car in front of me. It's one in the car back there where his truck at. And it's the old dark 30. And we all sitting here because now your ass like to took that damn gate down. So you got to back up and figure that shit out over and over and over and over again until you get in there. Cause what? Cause we all sat here and watched your ass do that dumb ass shit. Like, what was the big? Well, I ain't even what. I wasn't even woke enough to even put my shoes on. What was you tripping on? You didn't want me to get in there before you. Okay, go. So, and they simultaneously they'll go from trailer to trailer, and they get you out of that same time. And they usually have 3. So when I woke up, there was a chick on the other side, 3 of us. And that's how they do. And we all gonna come out of there at the same motherfucking time. So I said, look at this shit. This shit crazy as hell. So get in there 4, 4, 5, 14. And I'm back here and I'm in a whole coma, laying on my back. Doing a good job too, because I ain't laying on my side. None of that. I'm like, okay, we get this back thing down pat, laid on the back, the legs in the air. I mean, for swelling purposes, not for other purposes. Here you go. The second time he came banging on the door, I was like, you be so sleep and tired, and somebody wake you up, and it's like you just feel like there's no way you're gonna be able to wake up, and there's no way you're gonna be able to forgive any and everybody for waking you up. Why you couldn't just let me get it? You know what I mean? It took me like a good fucking 30 minutes to just take the toe. I'm like, the fuck? I can't even see what the fuck I'm looking at. Eyes, bloodshot red, everything. I was gone, boy. I'm like, that's some fucked up shit. You know, that's what type of time we be on with that sleep. We don't get that. So after I go to the gym, but then again, oh no, because they're gonna close early. I was gonna say I'll probably take it now, then I'll do better, but they're gonna close early. I gotta hit them machines. Now, we gonna talk about he did something on Joe Brown. Oh, that ought to be interesting. Oh, it was just yesterday. Okay, cool. So, excuse me. We're gonna listen to MOT 1108. The real reason why Carmelo Anthony was convicted. And this is by none other than the what? The what? The what? The professor. Okay, the professor. All right, get down on the pops. Get down on it.
Soldiers.
Get down on it.
Predictably, the all-white jury that rubber stamped the Carmelo Anthony case came back guilty for it. Just but no, exactly what the charge against white this was going to be a courtroom lynching. It was going to be white power. This was going to be a courtroom lynching. It was going to be white power reassuring itself that it was still in charge. This was never about the law, and they didn't even make a pretense that it was about the law. It was always about reinforcing the white supremacist legal doctrine that black people have no right of self-defense. You know, Mike Brown was demonized by the white media because of his height. That alone made him the bad guy, even though he was the one who was murdered. Well, Austin Metcalf was also much taller than the boy he threatened and attacked, but the white media never made that the issue. You know, there's a lot of things that I see when I look at this Metcalf fellow, but the one thing nobody sees is a victim. He had behavioral problems before now. He threatened and assaulted a total stranger for no reason whatsoever. Had he been civilized, nothing would have happened. Carmelo Anthony has no criminal record, never in trouble with the law. Can the gun wielding thug Metcalf say the same? This entire perverted fiasco was dirty from the jump. From the DA who decided to bring these bogus charges and then who illegally excluded only the black jurors, to the judge who allowed it, to the defense counsel who was clearly not giving it the old college try. The fix was in from the beginning, and we called this. But without a legal framework that aggressively can be brought to bear when they do things like this, call it out is as far as we can currently get. This is why I rail on about these black misleaders so much. They've been in office since the beginning of time, and yet how many laws are there on the books to punish prosecutors for practices like this? The white right passed laws that enable bigots like Ron DeSantis to arbitrarily remove a DA if he thinks that they're not going after enough black people. So where's the process at anywhere in America that will punish clerks of court who constantly assemble jury pools that conveniently always seem to exclude black jurors in general and black male jurors in specific? And beyond that, laws to punish prosecutors for using their peremptory challenges to consistently exclude only black jurors. We see this in both red and blue states, but we don't see any measures to punish it in any state. I would love to say that this was a miscarriage of justice, but under white supremacy, there is no justice. That's what black empowerment has been fighting for. Now, there's been people saying that the father of the thug Metcalf who attacked Carmelo Anthony was also friends with the DA or the judge on the case. Now, I don't know about that. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if it turned out to be true. But one thing is for certain. Carmelo's defense attorney, Toby Shook, had been a co-worker for the very prosecutor who he was supposed to be arguing against in court. In fact, Toby Shook and this Worsky character were thick as thieves in the DA's office.
You don't
10 years ago, they both were smiling like Cheshire cats with the so-called Home Run Hitters Award. This so-called award is from the National District Attorneys Association. These two were literally partners in crime for many years. If nothing else, one of them should have been recused from the case altogether. But this is who the Anthony family saw fit to prevent Carmelo from being sent to prison. This is who they chose to defend Carmelo. This guy only put up token objections to his friend the DA's racially purging the jury of black people, but it was only pro forma. He only did that as a CIA maneuver, but he didn't go any further than that. Remember, every time you talk about this so-called defense attorney Toby Shook, you need to include that he's a former colleague, but a current friend of the prosecutor in this case. As I said, he wasn't giving this one the old college try. In fact, he wasn't trying at all. And there's the usual trash who didn't like me referring to the jury as an all-white jury. Why not? It's true. There's been the predictable whining that there were some Hispanics on the jury and there was an Asian too. These are the same people who are outraged when George Zimmerman was rightly identified as a white Latino. We've already covered countless times how many in the Hispanic community identify themselves as on their driver's licenses, job applications, census forms, etc. You had that Latino neo-Nazi.
Them $5 them Indians, huh? That can't falsely claim our identity and have falsely claimed land and reparations and shit. They come from all over. Okay? If it ain't us, it ain't us. All day. You could be Russian and all kind of other shit, and they and from India and all that, and as long as you handle the business correctly, this is historically facts, currently accurate, and ongoing. Okay, it's a construct. All these names, shit. They didn't come from the creator. They came from the system. And they conveniently call themselves and us whatever they want to. But they're not like us. They are not us. They are them and we are us, period. They or them are them and we, only us are us. Only us are us. I'm also scared.
If it is invalid, we promise a tenfold refund. This denture can be successfully worn in just 1 second and is suitable for everyone. Whether you have complete teeth, partial missing teeth, or no.
Hold on, let me get back.
All right, John.
I'm about to.
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this, the moment of truth.
Okay, we thought out.
Predictably, the all-white jury that rubber-stamped the Carmelo Anthony case came back with a guilty verdict. You can be disgusted with the outcome, but nobody can be surprised. They were making it crystal clear from the very beginning exactly how this was going to work out. Starting with the bogus charges against that kid, this was going to be a courtroom lynching. It was going to be white power reassuring itself that it was still in charge. This was never about the law, and they didn't even make a pretense that it was about the law. It was always about reinforcing the white supremacist legal doctrine that black people have no right of self-defense. You know, Mike Brown was demonized by the white media because of his height. That alone made him the bad guy, even though he was the one who was murdered. Well, Austin Metcalf was also much taller than the boy he threatened and attacked, but the white media never made that the issue. You know, there's a lot of things that I see when I look at this Metcalf fellow, but the one thing nobody sees is a victim. He had behavioral problems before now. He threatened and assaulted a total stranger for no reason whatsoever. Had he been civilized, nothing would have happened. Carmelo Anthony has no criminal record, never in trouble with the law. Can the gun-wielding thug Metcalf say the same? This entire perverted fiasco was dirty from the jump. From the DA who decided to bring these bogus charges and then who illegally excluded only the black jurors, to the judge who allowed it, to the defense counsel who was clearly not giving.
This is another thing I need y'all to stop doing, okay? Because it shows your low IQ. They told somebody said somebody. The jurors excused themselves. Me, you bitch ass said that shit. Fuck you. But however, someone proclaimed that the jurors excused themselves because they said, if he black, I'm gonna let him free. Okay. Was you in the room? Because I need the recording, the videotape. I need them with their ID. I need their grandma, you know, holding a picture that their baby first bath. Like all the shit that they said in that R. Kelly skit, Dave Chappelle. Cause why the fuck do y'all repeat shit that somebody told you? Even if it came from the courts. They lie about everything. They lied. The whole case was bullshit. So you believe what they're saying about why they got rid of all 3 jurors, black jurors? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? So at first they were saying that they excluded them because they are educators and they felt like they would be biased towards the children. No, that would be closer to a jury of your peers, actually. You got someone who firsthand is familiar with the relationships that can take place in events and, you know, rules, written, unwritten, all that, everything involving the case. They can be more familiar. Why they gonna be biased towards students? You got some teachers that probably think half of these mofos need to be in jail. So you don't just get to that's you being discriminatory to say that. So you can't say that you're going to exclude 3 black jurors because they're educators and they will be biased towards the youth. That's dumb and it's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly. That would make them more like being a jury of their peers. Okay, which it should be Carmelo's peers. Let's be clear. either which way it go, don't none of y'all know why they excluded the jurors because you weren't at jury selection. And they're being hush hush about the case, only letting out select lines that they want to let out. So what you should do is you should find out everything about the case, of course, but you should find out why these, first of all, verify the story, which I'm pretty sure is true. It seems like everybody is admitting to it. And then you find out why. Why did you exclude those jurors from documented facts? Not just what other people say, because y'all sound real dumb out here in these streets. And you let me know that you're the type. You're just gonna say it because it was told to you. Which, what, 99.9% of y'all are dumb. Good. Okay. All right. Cut shit.
At the old college try, the fix was in from the beginning, and we called this. But without a legal framework that aggressively can be brought to bear when they do things like this, call it out as far as we can currently get. This is why I rail on about these black misleaders so much. They've been in office since the beginning of time, and yet how many laws are there on the books to punish prosecutors for practices like this? The white right passed laws that enable bigots like Ron DeSantis to arbitrarily remove a DA if he thinks that they're not going after enough black people. Where's the process at anywhere in America that will punish clerks of court who constantly assemble jury pools that conveniently always seem to exclude black jurors in general and black male jurors in specific? And beyond that, laws to punish prosecutors for using their peremptory challenges to consistently exclude only black jurors. We see this in both red and blue states, but we don't see any measures to punish it in any state. I would love to say that this was a miscarriage of justice, but under white supremacy, there is no justice. That's what black empowerment has been fighting for. Now, there's been people saying that the father of the thug Metcalf who attacked Carmelo Anthony was also friends with the DA or the judge on the case. Now, I don't know about that. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if it turned out to be true. But one thing is for certain. Carmelo's defense attorney, Toby Shook, had been a co-worker for the very prosecutor who he was supposed to be arguing against in court. In fact, Toby Shook and this Worski character were thick as thieves in the DA's office. 10 years ago, they both posed smiling like Cheshire cats with the so-called Home Run Hitters Award. This so-called award.
And then we, of course, that he's pointing out, first it need to be verified how well all of these people know each other. Then, when it comes to that specifically, you would need to know how common is that, for them to be former co-workers, which, to be honest, if he's a common defense attorney in that area and he works in that courtroom a lot defending clients, they're co-workers. There's no way around that. And lawyers are lawyers, just like cops are cops, truckers are truckers, I guess. Bullshit, but you get where I'm going with that, okay? They pretty much the same. They come out here. I'm the defense attorney. I'm the prosecution. Okay, we're battling. And I'm for the client. For the client. I'm gonna put that mofo in jail. I'm for the client. And really they both about the politics and the money. So, they kumbaya it up behind the scenes. They cool with each other. They make deals. They say, hey, let me get this case, man. Let me get this case, blah, blah, blah. Or, they boss man, whoever that really be, I'll say, prosecution got this. So y'all figure it out. Okay? All right. And that's what it is. And that's what happened in this case. It was clear and understood. Nobody really didn't have to say it or force it. And you think they said it to his defense attorney and he was like, oh, sure. Oh, what in the blue blazes? I was fully prepared to argue this all the way down to the pan for my client, Carmelo Anthony. And what do you mean you want to win? What do you mean he's going to prison? What do you mean don't defend him? That's what I do, and I care about this young man and what happens to him. and this was self-defense, and I'm gonna argue that point and that is my job, my integrity. You think it, no, it's like it, it's like if you come up to me and say, Carmelo Anthony's going to jail, are we clear on that? I'm gonna look at you like, why you even saying something? Like, bro, you okay? Like, you didn't even have to come in here and say that. We all know this. What the fuck? Y'all check them out. Make sure that judge is okay. Because why you coming here telling us that, bro? Who did you think was gonna try to like not let this boy go to jail? Like, oh, you thought the defense attorney? You thought he thought I was gonna defend him? Why you think that? You think you think I'm gonna go out now? Okay, no.
Is from the National District Attorneys Association. These two were literally partners in crime for many years. If nothing else, one of them should have been recused from the case altogether. But this is who the Anthony family saw fit to
That's where that research come in at, because there's people who were DAs who become what? Defense attorneys. DA, they keep the same nickname, acronyms, stereotypes, haters, behaviors, patterns. I wouldn't trust a DA that becomes a defense attorney, that's for sure. But it happens. How often is it that they stay in their same court district with? That happens too, but how often? And in this particular case, it would absolutely make no sense for him to stay and be on this case, knowing that he went into the case, knowing that conflict of interest, because it is black and white. Now, the first thing they'll do is try to say, "Oh, y'all making it about race, you making it about race," and da da da. Bitch, it's about race, okay? It's a pig's pussy poke. It's about race. So we not gonna play that dumbass game and that I don't see color shit. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, stand next to his mama. Okay, put Sissy Tyson next to him. Shit, put me next to his mama, and 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 tell him which one could be your mama. The fuck? Not the black one.
Carmelo from being sent to prison, this is who they chose to defend Carmelo. This guy only put up token objections to his friend the DA's racially purging the jury of black people, but it was only pro forma. He only did that as a CYA maneuver, but he didn't go any further than that. Remember, every time you talk about this so-called defense attorney Toby Shook, you need to include that he's a former colleague but a current friend of the prosecutor in this case. As I said, he wasn't given this one the old college try. In fact, he wasn't trying at all. And there's the usual trash who didn't like me referring to the jury as an all-white jury. Why not? It's true. There's been the predictable whining that there were some Hispanics on the jury and there was an Asian too. These are the same people who were outraged when George Zimmerman was rightly identified as a white Latino. We've already covered countless times how many in the Hispanic community identify themselves as white on their driver's license, and there was an Asian too. These are the same people, and there was an Asian too. These are the same people who were outraged when George Zimmerman was rightly identified as a white Latino. We've already covered countless times how many in the Hispanic community identify themselves as white on their driver's licenses, job applications, census forms, etc. You have that Latino neo-Nazi in the state of Texas who decided to go on a shooting rampage. He killed a number of Hispanic people, among others, and he himself boasted that he was white. And as for Asians, there's the exact same pattern. People from the Middle East identify as white regularly. There's been Asians like the mass murderer Elliot Rodger, whose mother was Malaysian. But that didn't stop him from identifying as white, saying that he was, get this,
I bet that Planet of the Apes monkey that I saw in Walmart that she white. I bet you she thinks she white. I could tell by the way that bitch was acting. Boy, that shit. At first, I was like, I ain't even gonna trip on her, but she was so freaking dramatic. But you gotta go watch the video. She was so dramatic with it. I was like, oh, but you don't mind being disrespectful. And this close to me too. I was like, okay, you want to act? You want to act? You want to act? She almost turned her buggy over. She was making such a scene. I said, okay, bitch, you want to act? All right, got you. I started clowning her ass. Playing her the apes looking ass. Bitch, what the fuck you say? Then I had to come back and get her ass, make sure I get on camera. Talking about my hair, bitch. Wrapped around your damn man dick. I will put a story time on that one because it just reminded me of some shit that happened. No cap. Okay, real quick, story time. Chick that I used to know. Shit, how old was I? Early 20s. Probably 23, 24. I don't know. It's all a blur. But the chick was trying to say I was screwing her up. I guess they was married. I don't know. Because we call him E. He clearly was, liking me. Now, I'm dating the guy who I told y'all about the crib. And him and his boys got arrested because they killed 4 women. Yeah. And, was riding around and with him in the trunk of the car. One of the ladies, they shot her out of Smith Lake on Fort Bragg. And, she climbed crawl all night to the road. And so that's how they got told on and everything. And so he went to prison or whatever. But was I dating CeeLo then? Yeah, I was dating CeeLo. So this Oompa Loompa was so insecure. And I guess because she's huge, she's like 400 plus, maybe. Yeah. But she's very, very beautiful. She's very beautiful. I don't know. She's probably deceased now because that bitch was big. But she was very beautiful. So I guess she's used to being the center of attention. Okay, cool. But it's things different now, baby. Because who's hanging around now. So she didn't like that shit. And her husband clearly wanted me. And he used to try to holler on the side and stuff. I'm like, I'm cool with your boys. I hang with your boys. And then if I tell CeeLo, he gonna fucking be like, y'all cool. Like, why you even playing? So I used to just not even say nothing. But I was so mad at him. I kept dogging his ass out. Like, boy, I swear to God, I would fucking tell. But I didn't want that drama. I probably would have never told. He got some shit in that truck. I'm like, dang, you can tell. He can contact any and everybody at any time. Don't worry, playing. I ain't seen them antennas in a minute. So, he just kept doing what he doing. He knew I wasn't gonna say anything because fuck Phyllis. I mean, that shit wouldn't have been pretty because off the disrespect alone, it's gonna be some shit with CeeLo. So I'm like, nah. Phyllis came knocking on my door one night. I ain't gonna lie. Her nigga came over my house. Okay. The guys would come over sometimes. We chill, we whatever, we blaze. I cook for everybody. Here and there, But it's not uncommon for people to come for these guys to come over. And so he had never been over there. And it was just kind of an unspoken thing because pretty much everybody knew he liked me. Now, how CeeLo was playing it, I don't know. He never said anything to me, but everybody else could know and CeeLo not know too. Because old boy was playing a dangerous ass game. He really was. And I wasn't attracted to him. I wasn't. Like, he's tripping. But I don't know what type of buttons he was trying to push. But when they came over to chill that night, he was with him. And I just looked at him like, bro, why you come on my crib? Phyllis can smell that shit. And the way she be looking, now her and my mom is friends. That was the age variation going on there. And it's her dude. So I'm like, then I'm looking at them. Everybody got a certain look on their face. And I'm just like, I'm thinking I probably should just turn them all away because they on some bullshit. I'm like, I ain't gonna trip because I'm finna, they finna know it's not even finna, whatever y'all think, you might as well forget it. So everybody came in, chilled or whatever. We chilled. I don't even know what the fuck was doing that night was me, But then they left. Later, I'm talking about way later. Phyllis banging on my door. We chilling in my cousin up front. We chilling. I'm in the Papa sign. I had this big ass wedding Papa sign from Africa with a handmade pillow. Oh gosh, I miss that Papa sign so much. I'm curled up in the Papa signs. We just sitting up there chilling, talking about these dudes, right? Because they really ain't too long left, and it's always something with them. And she dating one of them, Ronald Sean. So bang, bang, bang at the door. And I'm like, who knocking on my door like that? I'm not gonna be scared. Don't be right. So I'm like, ain't nobody knocking on my door like that, especially this time of night. My children sleep and everything. So open the door and I see Phyllis at my door. The first thought was, how the hell Phyllis know where I stay? Which one of them mofos told Phyllis where I stay? Which one of them mofos told Phyllis where I stay? I knew they was on some BS. Soon as I seen her standing there, I just looked at my cousin and she was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. And she knew she was there on some BS about her dude. So my cousin was like trying to peek down and shit because she didn't want Phyllis to be mad at her thinking something happened and she was in on it and all that kind of stuff. So she told me, this how you do me? I mean, she was just so hurt. And she was like trying to talk shit, but she was really like just coming at me like, I heard her. Why could I do that? And I was like, what the fuck is you talking about, Phyllis? I wasn't finished in here and then he came over here because it's like the elephant in the room anyway. Why should I? It should be no thing. They all come over. Everybody knows this. But he never came over. Nobody says it. Everybody knows why. How does she know that he was with them? So it's not gonna make sense for me to try to lie and say he wasn't over here. That really would be like, okay, I know you're lying. Plus, okay, that means y'all got something going on. Fuck, we didn't. So I'm like, these niggas was trying to set me up so that like what? Me and Phyllis can get into it and I might as well just deal with him anyway because she bad. I'm just trying to figure, hood niggas do hood things. Like, you can't, there's no rhyme or reason for any of it. So she going off, and I'm standing there, and I'm just looking at her because I'm bad. I ain't never seen her get down, but I get the vibes that she bad, but no, really no chicks that was hanging around there unless, you're considered badass, like so and this is Phyllis. I mean, but she is goddamn 450 pounds, so that don't mean she can't fight and whoop ass. So either way, we had a certain level of respect. She damn sure wasn't fearing me and I wasn't fearing her. But I knew I would have mollywopped the fucking shit. I would have stumped the blubber out her ass, And she just standing there, and it's like she trying to pop slick. And coming to my home with drama is an automatic, you getting fucked up. But I'm just like, should I? Because I'm cool with her sons. I hang with her sons basically every day. And then they gonna have a problem with that. And it's like, so why y'all playing with me bringing your fucking stepdaddy and shit over here? You know? And it's like, you think ahead about all these things. And I'm like, I just, I really should fucking the principle of this whole thing. Like, I shouldn't let this bitch get away. So the whole time, I ain't even listening to what she handle her. Talking, she went and got done. And I don't do the arguing. So I'm just like, I really fuck her ass up. But do I want to do that? Because how the hell, man, Jamel and them gonna be cool. Jerome, it's Phyllis. It's Phyllis. And I'm gonna fuck her ass up. Okay? They're gonna have to call an ambulance to come get the bitch. Coming at my door with some shit. Because if this is the thing. Bitch, if he came over here and he fucked me, he wanted to. And if I fucked him, clearly I wanted to. So you get mad at me for what? Because y'all, everybody's slimy in this mug. If he wanted to do it, get mad at me is gonna change what? And then the elephant in the room, everybody know he wanted me bad as fuck. So at the end of the day, what are you doing? What are you doing? But out of respect for your ass, I never even played that game with your dude. Like, but I ain't say none of this. I'm thinking this. Why she running her goddamn mouth? So this has always been my hair. I would take and put my hair in micro braids by myself. And that shit would take a long time. But I would do that quite often. I see my cousin, man, they came from Florida and they started doing micro braids in each other's hair. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't really mess with braids or none of that. My father always had me on some prissy, preppy, like freaking princess, just very feminine type stuff. And a braid could never, you know what I mean? He was always like that. So I never grew up with braids and wanted braids or anything. And when I seen them doing the micro braids, it was a wrap. And I ain't have to use no fake hair neither. Man, shit. My shit used to slay, bro. And I would do it myself. Everybody wanted me to do their hair. So Phyllis said, you fucked my man and everything. And I said, girl, I did not fuck your man. And this is the thing that made it even worse. I had just got a tattoo. This is a true story. This is a true story. I had just got a tattoo on my chest. Now it is covered with the butterfly, Superman, one of them. I don't know. One of them. But I was getting my children's names on me, and I wanted to do something different every name. So my first idea for one of my daughters was to do a certain calligraphy of her first initial, and I put it on my chest. Now I'm in my early 20s. I've been getting tattoos since the day the rebellion against fathers became. That's when I started. Before I was old enough, for sure. Piercings, tats, all that. So they're everywhere. Even though you don't see them, they're everywhere. She happened to think that I got that for her too. And I was like, I never thought that she would think that until after she left and my cousin said something. Because Phyllis said something, but again, I wasn't really listening to Phyllis. I was trying to talk to myself, like I know how to do, and figure out how I'm gonna handle this situation. Because what I want to do and what I should do usually do not match up. Because I do not care. I will break you with my bare hands, and my goal is to delete you. That's just, and that will happen without thought. But I have to think, right? I have to think. So I'm like, trying to talk myself into doing something that would make so much more peace and so much more sense. Trying to be the angel on my shoulder. Because apparently there were only demons there for a long time. And I'm just like, trying to tune her out though, because the audacity, that's only going to make me feel like I'll be mad as hell if I let you walk away with that bullshit. Then everybody going to know you came to me like that. And I done fuck you up. Tammy came to my shit one day. Bitch left a note on my door. Okay? That's a whole nother story. I went and got that ass, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm like, Phyllis, girl, nobody wants E but you. I mean, let's keep it real. Sincerely, let's keep it real. She pretty much take care of him. Like, to me, he's not a dude I can respect. Not at all. I mean, he's one of the boys, and you know, it's y'all road all day. So I mean, there ain't no punks over there, but again, that's just like sugar mama and shit. So it's like, and we know he fucked other women and stuff like that. Nobody wants to eat but you. And whoever else out there he fucking with, go get them. And she said, I knew it was you. I know it's you. Because your fucking hair was wrapped around his fucking dick. And she literally stood there in my screen door, bro, with a long ass piece of fucking curly hair. And because I had my shit in the fucking micro braids, she said that was my hair. This chick basically my mom's age. No, she was my mom's age. And I'm looking at her like, and my cousin busts out laughing in the back. And that's when she realized my cousin was there. And she's like, oh, Jackie, you think this shit funny? You think this shit funny? And I just looked at her and I was trying my best not to laugh. Because I didn't want her to be embarrassed, but I didn't want her to get more upset and more disrespectful. Because she really thought I was going to do. So it's like, I'm just going to let her walk away. But I'm not going to keep telling you that I'm not. Bitch, if I was you, like, what would be the reason for me to keep standing here and saying I'm not doing it? At this point, if you know, then that's what it is. You know, I never been the type. I don't want nobody else to win. That's never been the thing. They letting them off work too. I think that they shouldn't let the whites off of work on our fucking holiday. That's why I don't fuck with holidays. And I wouldn't fuck with this holiday either. Because why would you you know, make it Juneteenth or Martin Luther and you're gonna let them off of work on our fucking day? Kiss my ass. You understand me? I did not want to wear underwear with this, but I am doing that. And in doing that, for some odd reason, the shit, I really want to pull it out. It's cutting my freaking up in the, it's cutting me. I'm not big on underwear. I can't, I ain't got that kind of time. I don't like bras. I don't like that. That shit don't feel good at all. Let me be free. But I can't wedgie myself in front of the camera. I really can't. I can just talk about how uncomfortable that shit is. So back to Phyllis. Phyllis is at the door. Phyllis is shaking the thing. It's shit long too. It's she's short thing. And Phyllis is just holding it up. And she's mad and she's serious. And I'm just like, Father, can you help me? Like, what am I gonna say? Because I could clown her, but clearly I don't want to. Even though she's accusing me, I'm not gonna be, I can't be but so mad at her, even though she came to my door like that. I don't care who you are. That's disrespect. But it's too many moving parts here. Everybody knew he likes me. And I'm pretty sure he and her argued about it so much. And he was so bold with it. And I'm like, nigga, you won't get killed. You're not going to get us killed because I'm not even messing with you. But you're going to get killed because you standing over there looking at me like that in a room with nothing but gangsters. All of us fucking gangsters and shit. And everybody is cool and crew and all that. The fuck if fucking the dude CeeLo almost never was there. Because CeeLo was always out doing some shit that real gangsters do. But when he did come around, I try to be everywhere the fucking ES is not. Then I would be always nervous because I'm like, somebody gonna try to play with fate because clearly they think this shit is a game. And CeeLo's gonna catch on that E likes me, and he might think that from what they trying to do, I'm fucking with E. It's one thing for Phyllis to think that, but for CeeLo to think that, bitch, dude, we know I'm not playing that game with y'all. I don't even understand what the fuck y'all doing. That's the thing, man. You can't trust people, especially when it's just gutter people, gutter. I was looking at Phyllis like, bro, I'm not fucking with your dudes, Phyllis. Now, this is the second time I done said it already. I mean, I said this. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. You at my door, like you bringing the heat, and your ass should have been stomped out by now. She's like, you ain't gonna fucking say. I said, look, okay, and that's what I expect her to do, talk her shit back. So it's all good, but at the same time, bitch, okay, even right now, I would have jumped on your ass for saying that shit. Like at some point, I would have been whooping your ass if it's true and telling you, yeah, ho, and I'm finna go fucking right now some shit. I got real fucking gutter wear her ass. And you know that. So I'm not doing that. I'm standing here telling you I'm not fucking with your dude. I don't care about whatever the hell else led you here. You figure it out. I'm not finna have that conversation. I'm telling you what it is not. And she kind of was like, I'm making sense. What she know I was. But she was stuck on it because it had to take a lot for her to come over there. And she reluctantly left and everything. And we really didn't speak much after that. And I'm like, that's on you, bitch. Y'all bad. Do you not get them? So, telling all that story, that's where I got the shit that I said the old girl in the store from. But she said something about my hair. I said, bitch, my hair is wrapped around some shit. I know I said that shit was wrapped around her husband's dick. Because she was like, I don't want your hair to get in my food. First of all, bitch, what? I hadn't even fully gotten over there. I hadn't even fully walked over there. I'm coming over here to get me a package of spinach. And she in the same department. She got her buggy right there. And she was doing the most. She was doing the most. She was doing the most. She was doing the absolute most. Snatching that shit around damn near about to hit me with it. Being all smacking her lips and just acting like a whole fool in the store, a child. And I like she gonna die before she get successfully away from me with her buggy. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck wrong with you? She was saying shit on her breath, and you can hear the accent in her. She from fucking Africa somewhere. And the bitch was, she was being disrespectful, but she wasn't saying that shit loud enough. Cause she could see I'm like scared about it. And she was all, I don't want your hair in my food. Bitch, you picking up food and packages in a store that came from who knows where and got what the fuck on it. And you gonna act like this because I'm walking the fuck over here? Some bitch with long hair fucking yo dude right the fuck now. And you mad because my hair's wrapped around that motherfucking tit. Dude that was standing next to her, he was really trying to be like mature and, you know, just keep a straight face and just be like, oh, this is so belligerent from you and all this. That he wanted to just maintain that type of composure. But when I said that shit, man, everybody was laughing because what the fuck are you doing? I mean, she was so dramatic. I was like, you about to turn that fucking buggy over? Eggs and everything. She had it was weird. She had everything stacked up a certain kind of way. I was like, look at this bitch. You in here buying a white man food, fake food out of Walmart. I mean, I was looking for a spin, but it was organic. It still Walmart. But whatever the fuck you got going on, leave me out of it. Don't be acting all like that. You could have just took your car and backed out of the area. And nobody would have even known what you were sticking in your head. But because I come over here and you see this shit long, you want to talk about, I don't fucking want your hair and my food. And then she said it. This bitch said it a total of 3 times. But when I came back with that camera, I said, what was that you were saying earlier? She was like, I'm going to report the police on you. That's the first thing she said. And she kept saying it. And she was looking me dead. She didn't look at me before that. I was like, that bitch looked at me. She saw me somewhere in the store before I even came over there. That's why she acting like that too. Okay, because you look like Planet of the motherfucking Apes. She looked just like them fucking apes. I mean, and I thought she drew on that shit just really took it home. I was like, fuck. This is one of them Planet of the Apes ass bitches trying to talk shit to me. I don't even gotta hit you, bitch. I'm just gonna talk about you because
The Chicago courts claim that they too about roles and the
it's crazy because it's straight.
and the
This stream keeps getting interrupted like every 2 minutes. Fuck nigga shit. Hey, that's illegal, bitch. That's illegal. Don't do it again. I'm gonna call you out. You want some? Take that shit back to that state you come from. Come on. Don't y'all come up here. You're not cutting me with fuck. I look like what I look like. Jump in front of her because she in the truck. You better go play with somebody else.
people of color on the jury with no blacks, then they would go right along with what white power wanted because he definitely wasn't trying to exclude anyone else from that jury. And you better believe, had this been a black prosecutor and he excluded all of the white people, every good old boy, redneck, and racist in Texas, starting with Greg Abbott, would have been screaming and yelling from the rafters saying that there needs to be an investigation, and you'd have them convening the state legislature and writing up laws to punish whoever that black DA was. They don't let black people exercise power over white people. If there's a black person who does something that the white society doesn't like, they make sure to do something about them. You do not see prosecutors ever trying to exclude white people from a jury, ever. And that consistent practice is the purest evidence that what happened to Carmelo Anthony is part of the ingrained, embedded anti-black racism that is the American injustice system. You can be morally outraged about the verdict, and that's fine. But the problem here runs deeper than just a corrupt prosecutor, a crooked judge, and a rabidly anti-black jury. The problem is that that young man was charged in the first place. The second problem is that the jury pool was constituted so as to have only a few black people from the very beginning. They wanted to make sure that the public saw this so they could show, see, we can make certain that there's absolutely no black people on this jury. It will be blatantly illegal, but we're white and we say so. This trial took place in Collins County, which has a black population of about 12%. The Asian population there is 21%. The Hispanic population, however, is only 16%, not much larger than the black population. And yet there were 3 Hispanics on the jury and not one black person. And we're not supposed to be looking at the clerk of court and seeing that he rigged that jury composition from the jump, because you would never see a white defendant who just so happened to be tried by 4 or 5 black people and not a white person on the jury. You would think that if their system is truly randomized, then just as a matter of statistical error, you would get some outcomes like that. Instead, the juries are always consistently majority white, no matter what. This is because the clerks of court are the ones who select who gets chosen to be part of the jury pool. Most of you don't know how juries are selected for trials. This is how it works. The clerk of court claims that they pull a list of names from the voter rolls and the driver's license, and that the people who make it into the jury pool are randomly selected. They claim that there's a computer involved, but you know what? That's not necessarily true. You'll remember I told you about the book When Corruption Was King by Robert Cooley. He was a mob lawyer in Chicago in the 1970s. He wrote in his book that even back then, the Chicago courts claimed that they too chose the jurors for trial and the judges who would preside over the cases at random, and that their system was also computerized. This was back in the 1970s. But as Robert Cooley explained, for the mob and the men who run the Chicago political machine, that didn't matter. They still had ways to make sure that the right cases landed with the right judges no matter what. But this doesn't just happen in Chicago. You had the recent case with Ken Paxton. This guy got put on trial by his own Republican colleagues because of how corrupt he is. You think the corruption only stops with him? At the end of the day, you can have all the computers you want selecting the jurors, but who's watching the clerk of court to make sure that they're not ethnically cleansing the jury pool? Texas is legendary for its corruption, and the Carmelo Anthony trial is just another example of that. They clearly vet and curate who they want in the jury pool and who they don't. A lot of you, especially black men, have never been called to jury duty. You think that's a coincidence? And these clerks of court deliberately and consistently pull from the non-black areas of town. You better believe that no matter how they claim to have selected the people at random, at the end of the day, they have all kinds of means to sit there and go, nah, this person comes from the wrong area. You think that they don't have the actual addresses for where these people come from, or they look and see names that they don't like, etc. Now, the clerk of court for Collins County is a guy named Michael Gould. So you have a white prosecutor, a white judge, a white clerk of court, and a white defense attorney who's a longtime friend, colleague, and partner in crime with the prosecutor. And we're not supposed to look at this and say, man, this was just a kangaroo court from top to bottom. I'm not saying that he made sure that the fix was in for the jump. I don't live in Collins County, but I can do basic math. And there should have been at least 2 black people on that jury. Instead, the jury pool was bleached, and the judge allowed a blatantly illegal move by the prosecutor to challenge and strike from the jury pool all potential black jurors. This is not a justice system. It's a white privilege engine that manufactures guaranteed outcomes. The outcome is incarcerate black defendants and ignore and even permit white offenders to commit crimes with no penalties. And these creeps aren't officers of the court. They're co-conspirators and collaborators in the criminal enterprise of using their positions to railroad people into prison, guilty or innocent. They might as well call themselves the Railroad Committee because that's what they really are. A crooked clerk of court who intentionally curated the jury pool so that only a handful of black people would get through that particular filter. Then he hands it off to his colleague and buddy, the prosecutor, who selectively challenges only the few black potential jurors who remain to be struck from the jury pool, and a judge who sees this blatant illegality happening in his courtroom and signs off on it anyway, and a defense attorney who shrugs it off, among other intentional failures during this kangaroo court. What happened to Carmelo Anthony reminds me of what happened to Bill Cosby. Court case, you also had a prosecutor who really knew that they didn't have a leg to stand on, but they did know that they were white and that they were the ones who were in charge of the process so they could manufacture the outcome that they wanted. Sure, it probably wouldn't stand up on appeal, and in the case of Cosby, it failed immediately. But as far as they're concerned, this is about showing who's in charge. This is what these white supremacists have to do to engineer a win for themselves. This problem will not be addressed until there's measures put in place at the front of the process. These crooked clerks of court like this Mike Gould character, they have to be stopped before they front load these juries with a bunch of anti-black racists. All of the sentencing of black people from juries, that must be criminalized, and there must be a robust and strictly enforced mechanism in place to actually stop these creeps before they pull these stunts. Obviously, leaving that up to the judges to decide produces these outcomes. Sure, that's what they want, but our job is to make sure white supremacy doesn't get what it wants. When these black defendants can see that the prosecutors are clearly ethnically cleansing the jury pool to remove any black people from it. They're supposed to be able to immediately bring the courtroom proceedings to a halt. It's not supposed to be a case of you got some pathetic punk defense attorney who's buddies with the prosecutor and he pretends like, oh, I offered some objections. See, that way you guys can't bring me before the bar committee for not doing my job. What that Toby Shook character did was not a legal defense, it was just courtroom theater. Well, we need to bring the curtain down on that kind of crap and remove these bastards from the stage whether they want to go or not. What's next for Carmelo Anthony? An appeal, certainly, but the family would be beyond foolish to let the same DA's buddy who threw the case in the first place handle the appeal after he did everything he could to cripple that boy's legal defense. It's not a matter of him getting some new lawyers. It's a matter of he just needs to get some lawyers, period, because he didn't have legal counsel. He had the DA's buddy there, and we see exactly what the result was. And as for people who are outside of this case, what also needs to be done is if you're somebody who wants to be in the comments section saying, that's why we need to vote, okay, but if you're going to vote, you need to know what you're voting for. We talk about an anti-black hate crime law, and that's important. And part of the legal structure needs to be to dismantle precisely what this Mike Gould character did. Racially tailoring the jury pool because you know this creep was involved in making certain that there were no black people or as few as possible from the very beginning. These kind of things are supposed to be illegal, but it's not enough for them just to be illegal. They must also be punished. And the mechanisms of punishment can't be ones that the judges can just go ahead and dismiss with a wave of the hand. As I've told you for going on 20 years now, justice is far too important to be left up to chance. You had that case in Texas where you had that guy, Daniel Perry. He killed a white BLM protester. And you had Tucker Carlson who got on TV and said that the governor needed to give him a pardon. And that's exactly what Greg Abbott did for somebody who was guilty as hell. And he did it specifically to send a racial message to black people. What's happened to Carmelo Anthony is the exact same thing. This is white power having seen a number of the L's that they've taken in the last few years, and this is them trying to get their little courage up. This is them trying to show that basically, see, we've still got some power. Oh, we know that white power has authority over this system. We know that. And that's what we're attempting to put an end to break the back of white supremacy and all of its little adherents and apparatchiks and administrators. What happened to Carmelo Anthony was not justice, but to put an end to these illegal maneuvers like the ones we saw during his trial and to punish these DAs and judges who engage in this behavior, that would be. Good day, be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Fan Durand, David White, Pamela Hyman, Darius Johnson, and Roxanne Allen. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
Shout out to the professor. He reminded me of something else. I'm gonna come back later. I don't talk about it now. That was a long, like, that shit will turn yellow as soon as you take your foot off the brake. Get your dumb ass out from in front of me. You did all that silliness. She would be a front. Get the thing, man. Look at you. Put your tail in another whole lane. Very good, you laughing. And as a black man, I don't think you need no harm. But go out. Think it's funny? But I can't get my check though. You in my lane. Don't go. What's his name? Try to be fan, but I sure will have it when I pull that damn video up that I'm about to rip apart. See if I don't get in tonight. Later on. since it's supposed to be what y'all call it, sheltered. Okay. They gave holiday to you because they know it's bullshit. It's like they killed one and then it's like then name all the hoods after them. All the hoodie kill hoods where they do the most good. Hmm? And that Jasmine Cracker. Oh, I heard about this one, yo.
You could be approved for $39 per month,
Check the
full
story out.
coverage auto insurance. The only catch is that you need to have zero
See now, somebody said
DUIs in the last 5 years. Drivers with zero DUIs in the last
Hand crawl. So with all the income.
Thank you for joining us for this ABC 24 News update. I'm Ruben Diaz. It's been an eventful 24 hours in Senatobia. An officer is on leave and protests sparked hence the death of a 1-year-old that was shot by police. This is actually cell phone video from Sunday that you see on your screen. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation telling us that officers were responding to a shoplifting call when they spotted 2 adults and a child running from the store and getting into a car. According to investigators, the driver drove toward officers, so they fired shots. 1-year-old Cohen Wiley died in hospital. Now, Cohen's mom, Felicia, is sharing her side of the story.
It was me, my son, and another friend of mine at Walmart. As we was leaving out the Walmart, they tried to stop her, but I kept walking because it had nothing to do with me. By the time me and my baby got in the car, she came, and then when we was backing up, they was running out the corner. I raised my baby up. They were driving. She had no tent. I raised my baby up trying to show them that he was in the car. So she was backing up and she hit a car. Well, as I was opening the door, so the door flew back in. By the time I sat my baby down, it was like 3 to 4 shots. One of the shots hit him in his real cage, and the other shots hit her in her arm and her thigh. And we left and went to Senatobia hospital where he pronounced dead at the scene. And they told me I wasn't gonna be able to see him until he get back from Jackson. She got airlifted, and the police told me I couldn't leave out the hospital until somewhere I could leave out, couldn't nobody come in. But I ended up walking out, and the crowd was questioning them, asking them what happened. It was like she was shoplifting, but the passenger, it was me. They wasn't talking about me. They was talking about the driver. But on the little what's it called, self checkout, they could see it's cameras. They could see when she got the knife and walked out. And they tried to say that she forcefully was trying to drive and hit them, but they was all on the right side, and she was driving towards the left. They just personally just shot in the car.
Did they try to charge you with anything?
They ain't charged with nothing. They just let it go. They didn't say nothing.
When did this happen?
They just kept telling the crowd that they was shopping.
Because they didn't charge you yet. I mean,
I don't know if they found anything.
found anything.
Powerful misstatements there from the mother. Attorneys representing Cohen's family are calling for the release of key video evidence. That request includes body camera footage, dash camera video, and surveillance video from Walmart where the incident happened. ABC 24 Shakina Davis is in Senatobia with what the family's legal team is demanding.
I'm standing outside of the Senatobia Walmart where the shooting happened Sunday. Now the family's attorneys say answers to some of their questions may be found in video they want released.
We want to see the body cam footage from the officers. We also want to see the footage from Walmart. And the family is just wondering why the officer dispatched his service gun, knowing that there was a child in the car.
Attorney Van Turner is representing the family of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley and assisting civil rights attorney Ben Crump. He says the family is seeking video from multiple sources as they try to better understand what happened. According to Mississippi investigation, officers responding to the shoplifting call at this Walmart encountered 2 adults and a child inside a vehicle. Investigators say an officer fired after the vehicle drove toward law enforcement. Cohen Wiley was later pronounced dead after the vehicle arrived at a nearby hospital.
Well, we want a transparent investigation. We want a thorough investigation, and we want to make sure that there is no chance of any type of cover up.
The officer involved has been placed on leave without pay while the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation continues its review of the shooting. Turner says the family believes the release of video could help answer questions and provide clarity for the community.
This was a horrible tragedy. No 1-year-old child deserves to pass away from this earth like we've seen here in this case. So they're just asking for your prayers and they're asking for your support.
Turner says the family's legal team is continuing to work with attorney Ben Crump and expects to provide additional updates later. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation's ongoing. In Senatobia, Shakina Davis, ABC 24 News.
Now, in those first 48 hours after the shooting, the script national headlines. The commissioner for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety held a news conference to address some of those concerns.
I wonder what kind of legal team she got. Because why did
This
she
is what we
give an
roll out
account?
if you drank 2 tablespoons of this disgusting.
Man, YouTube, you need to stop with them nasty ass, funky ass commercials. Nobody wants to see that shit. And it's repetitive. Stop. Cut shit. That's why I turn you down. Say no every time because you be on that bullshit. Okay. Okay. Shout out to Joe. Oh yeah, for sure. This is my first time hearing any version of it. And in the case of it, if you hear cop shoot baby, first thing people want to do is say, that cop, like, okay, you're the worst person ever. Out her own mouth. Out her own mouth. I mean, I normally look deeper before I even, but okay, just based on what we heard just now, I can't get mad at her family for having a legal team. They weren't there. They gotta know either way it go. But they know a lot more about her, how she runs, the kind of company she keeps, the type of mother she is, than we do. So 9 out of 10, they already know what it was. It sounds to me from her story that the people she with was shoplifting. And if they take your Pampers, who's Pampers for? There was one child with them. Who's Pampers for? I kept walking because it doesn't have anything to do with me. Y'all together. Most people don't keep walking unless it's suspicious. So opinion off of what we just heard. That's all this is. If I'm walking with you, we shopping together, blah, blah, blah. Somebody try to stop you, I'm with you. We together. Naturally, most people are going to just, you stick with who you with. And then, whatever it is, everything good. You don't need my help. You don't need my assistance. If I'm going to keep walking, I'm going to turn around anyway to see if you're okay, to see if you're coming with me. It's not my business. I don't want to be nosy. If it's clear, hi, Claire. Susie, hi. Hey, girl, so nice to meet you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to go put my stuff in the car, take my time, get a few minutes, and then she's going to come catch up with me. I'll look over there and check on her, but they old friends. That makes sense. But a stranger's trying to stop you. Uh-huh. And I keep walking, right? Why? Because somebody did something, right? She said, girl stole Pampers. So if you still, what else wouldn't you do? That girl put her baby life in danger, even being in that situation. I don't know if the baby was in a car seat. The cameras are going to show how they were moving versus where the cops were, if they felt in danger. Because, yeah, they did know the baby was in the car. So that part, that's when, we're looking at the cops like, we need to see what's up. Because why would you shoot? Unless somebody's life was in danger. Other than that, they stole something. Bro, you're going to get them. Too many cameras. But that situation wouldn't even exist if the mom was making better choices. I held my baby up to show that there's babies. No, you can't have it both ways. You just said that they knew that baby was in the car. My reaction to you holding up your gun is not for me to hold my baby up so you can get a clear shot. Because other than that, there's no realistic reason to me as to why you're doing that. I would have to hear what you thought it was. And she told us. So I can show them there's a baby in this car. There's a steering wheel in this truck too. Yep. They know it takes a steering wheel to drive and steer this truck. If the cops pull down on me, I do not need to snatch this out and show them it's a steering wheel. Please don't hurt the steering wheel. Me and the steering wheel probably gonna get lit up because they not taking all that time to try to figure out what you hold up at them. If I want to take my sweet time and say, is that a steering wheel, a gun, or a baby? Well, if it was a gun, then I guess I'd be dead. So now we got, is it a steering wheel or is it a baby? Well, after the fact, we will see. That's what she first asked questions later. Because the question was already asked when you knew I was trying to talk to you or get you or tell you to stop or whatever the case may be. You knew you fleeing from me. So we already did that part. And you holding your baby up, girl. Put her in protective custody because where she come from? I just think that they're from her and it hits people differently and blah blah blah. But just from the way she's telling the story and she looks guilty as hell. She looks like she feels guilty. She looks like she knows a whole lot is gonna come out about her, that person, and the things they be up to. And even that day, she said, I don't know what they found on her or you. I mean, because I knew my sister-in-law sister-in-law passed on. I'm talking about, man, years and years ago. She was on crack. And it took a long time for me to know she was on crack because they told me she was. But just from being around her, I had no idea. She was always fly. She had really, really short hair. She used to do that. This is not an exit. This is not an exit. It's not an exit, baby. Okay? Don't do that no more. You take her to the store. She never had a car. Well, she did have a car. She was married. She started going downhill. Hell, I ain't put two and two together. The thing about Rudy was always fly. She was a butch. She liked girls. But she was always fly. She had like hair so short to be like finger waves and stuff. Never out of place. Okay, so every time you see Rudy, everybody like, yeah, Rudy, good. That was always Rudy. I think crackheads, you know. So I had no idea, and I didn't know she was an expert klepto. Took Rudy to the store one time. She's like, "You're right to the store. You're right to the store." I said, "So what you right to the store for?" "No, I need to go win this. I need to get. I'm gonna get some shit. I want to put some stuff on the grill." "Oh, okay. Let's go." Bye. Yeah, I saw her buy something. I don't remember how much stuff she bought, but the shit that came out of her clothes. To this day, I don't believe it, y'all. To this day, the things that came out her clothes. I'm saying all that to say, she told me she don't know what they found. Bro, how you gonna stop after me and then just keep rolling? So annoying. So annoying. They do, bro. If I stop first, then I'm going first. It's like people just don't, and that wasn't even stop. That was a rolling stop. Sometimes I was like, I have all kind of badges and shit because of the tickets I give out. I just want to be a traffic cop, okay? I ain't getting involved in the crime. I just want you for the stuff you do on the road. Listen, I'm gonna look this story up. I'm parked down, so let me do my. Oh shoot! I had 2 minutes. Oh, I made it just in time. See, I was distracted. I didn't notice. I didn't have to freak out about it. Traffic went the way it went. I want to know what else it came. When did this happen? I don't like this at all because I think that there's going to be a lot of people surrounding her and saying, wait, what'd you say? You said cab? Cab about what? What could it be? Oh, if I'm telling a true story, if I'm doing a story time, bro, I wouldn't make up anything for you. For nobody. If I wanted to be sensational, if I wanted like, oh, I think this is gonna pop. When I tell the story times, I don't even intend on telling. It just pops in because of some relevance or something, and then I just say it. Because I mean, I don't care. I don't mind. If I were into listen, I can write a book. I can write a lifetime movie, everything all my life. Okay. You should be honored to get these story times because if you're around for them, then you'll know that they're not something to wink at, really not. And then if you've heard like at least 2 or more, and you're like, damn, you know, I guarantee you, it's not too many people out there that can give you this much and this big of a variety of just a crazy life. Crazy life. So, anywho, but I don't even care. I be on another subject, and then just the thought of something came up, a memory. It's your life. It's your life. All people sit around and tell you stories all day. Y'all be calling cap on them too. When my father told me that he and his siblings, walked to school and how that journey was or whatever, and snow and all that, I'm realistic. I believe him. First of all, why would he lie to me? That's my father. You know? Secondly, back in them days, yeah. What you thought they got an Uber or something? Schools close by to where the black people live. Then it wasn't even, I don't think it's mandatory. It was much so blacks wanted their children to go to school, wanted them to be educated, system educated. Because, you know, white man's eyes is colder until he got to help take care of the family, you know. Then this lady was school, but I mean, my father, him and his siblings definitely finished school. Where did this happen? Senatobia Walmart. I don't even know what Senatobia is. Okay, Tariq did it. That's where I first heard of it. Tariq did a show. I didn't watch that yet. What did Mississippi cops do to Cohen Wiley? Okay, so this obviously just happened maybe 2 days ago. So they're protesting. I'm not sure why they're protesting. I mean, this just happened. Such a cute little thing. Sorry, son. You know, I do apologize. It's so sad. I mean, is it too early to be protesting? Aren't we looking for more evidence, autopsy? What are they wanting here? Because my thing too, a lot of red flags. A lot of red flags. I'll go back to her. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta make a call.
Family of the soldiers. I'm the professor.
I don't know, so let's go back to what she said.
Never seen someone driving a 10-year-old car paying $150 a month for insurance. Like, I think that's outrageous. A friend of mine told me she drove.
Commissioner for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety held a news conference to address some of those concerns.
And so I want you to be assured that it will be a thorough investigation and it will be one where transparency is there. I'll any questions from the media first, if there are any that you might have about the process. I will not get into the details of the investigation. I would have everybody keep in mind this just occurred about 48 hours ago, so it's still a very, very new investigation. Actually, expected to be released that can ask know that this process so it's time for the way that we've handled it the last 40 years. We say once that investigation is complete.
I don't know why this man is trying to talk, and there's a lot of people that are making a lot of noise. If they weren't saying anything, then people be having a fit. It just happened, and he's doing a whole press conference. Have absolutely no information. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to go this. Sleep forever. Gotcha. I gotcha. That's so. That's absolute. So whatever it is he's trying to say, no, it's gonna be very difficult for us to hear that because they act like animals. Listen, what's the problem? I'm not gonna say yell at your mama because she don't need that trauma. But I mean, if you insist on yelling, why are we out here doing it? Because you want to check. Don't start. Don't start. Don't start because this is some BS. If an attendant, if they ask for my receipt, I tell them to go check their cameras. Unless I have a rapport with the greeter, like we've smiled too many times at each other, or we've said hello. or it was I like him this, I like him